everybody, it's Llewellyn here with Warren to Whimsy. I'm just gonna keep working on this thing. This is sort of like a wintry lake scene that I've been working on. Outside pretty much resembles what's happening here, so I've got some good inspiration going right outside my window, which is pretty normal for around here. Mostly what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna try and get some of the reflections in over here, and then I might work on this little bit of land that's gonna be a little bit bigger and a little bit darker, more similar to this side over here. I've got my water sprayed on here. I'm using Dixie Belle Chalk Mineral Paint. It is a furniture paint, so I'm using that today. And my colors are Midnight Sky is this dark color, Stormy Seas, and then Cotton is my white. So I've only used 3 colors on this so far. Pretty straightforward, and I like how it's turning out. So what I'm gonna do now is get this reflection in here. So I'm gonna try and be really careful here. I've just got an art brush, and I do want to leave like a thin line of light so that you can kind of tell where the land starts. Okay, so we're still gonna get some of this darker color in here because this is gonna be where I'm gonna add sort of the reflection of the trees. And then I'm gonna blend in some of that watercolor in with it, the color of the water, I should say. And I just wanna make some little pointy things. Like trees, I know they'll sort of disappear down here. One good thing about working with the chalk paint is that it blends really, really well if you keep it wet. And I can always go back in and like clean any parts of it up that I don't like, or just redo the whole thing. That happens frequently. Okay, let me see if I can pull off what I'm trying to pull off here. So I'm gonna spray it a tiny bit. I just trying to keep it damp as I go along. And I'm gonna get some of my Stormy Seas out. And my Cotton is my white. Just got a big jug of white right here. Okay, I'm gonna get some of this lighter area in here. And I'm not really going off of an exact picture this time. A lot of times I will, but this one I'm just I had a few in mind and then I'm just kind of winging it. Not always the best idea, but because I usually will spend a little bit longer like fixing it up, but I didn't find one that was exactly what I wanted. Okay, so that's still wet, and I have Stormy Seas and Cotton on my brush, and you can see how when I go in and just sort of lightly brush over the top of it, it just sort of fades it out. And you can always go back in and add in more highlights and stuff, but I wanted it to be a really soft reflection. I didn't want it to be like harsh lines, so that is why I decided to do it this way. I think I'm going to add maybe some of the trees a little more defined in here and then blend it again. It's still pretty wet on here, so I can play with it a little bit. I just don't want to overdo it. Sometimes I like mess with it too much and then I lose what I wanted in the first place. I'm going to keep just lightly like brush over the top of it. And I just have some of the white and some of the Stormy Seas on there. And everything's still damp, so it's just making this really misty. I really like this part down here. I'm gonna spray over here a little bit more. Get some more of that color on there. I just hardly dipped my brush in the white and the Stormy Seas to kind of mix it together, so you can't tell, but it's only on the tips right there. And then I'm just gonna go over it really really gently. While everything is still wet. I'm trying to get in these little corners here too as I go along. There we go. Sometimes I have to look back in the camera to make sure that I'm seeing what you guys are seeing, or you guys are even seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm adding some more of that white, the cotton in here, just to tone down that reflection a little bit. There we go. Yes. Sometimes I have these ideas in my head and then I go to do them and they don't quite come out, but this is not one of those times, so I'm happy. And for the rest of it, I'm just gonna spray it lightly with the water. I already have my undercoat on there, so now I'm just adding in a second layer basically to cover everything really well. Okay, I'm gonna come on the other side now and start working on that a little bit. And for my land, the close-up land, I'm basically just using straight midnight sky. And I'm gonna wet it slightly, just so it goes on nice and smooth. I don't wanna get it too wet because I did this part, this little part right here earlier, so it might not be completely dried yet. And once I get my land in there, we'll work on some more of those trees. Okay. I'm gonna put the land in right here. I might come back in, I will come back in with a smaller brush and do maybe some little rocks coming off of it and stuff, just kind of touch it up and make it a little more perfect. And I will be adding that mountain right here. I'm just not exactly sure. I might have to watch a couple videos like how to paint a mountain. Do the YouTube thing. Okay, and I'll be doing the same thing on this side as I did over there, and I'll be adding that reflection that you see right there. And if you guys are new here, I do my lives regularly every Wednesday at 4. That is my normal time. I think this one was, it's pretty straightforward and it was a lot of fun, actually. It uses a lot of the techniques that I've already used on other pieces. And then up in here, you know, I just used like a blending brush and did like a hint of this darker hill, and then, you know, either use your fingers or a good blending brush and get that fog in there. Okay, I'm gonna get a different brush. And I do always go back and do kind of a second coat to make sure everything's filled in. I could probably do it in one coat, but I do like to keep things a little bit damp so that it keeps the paint moving while I'm working on it. Okay, so I've got that fan brush and I'm gonna do a mix of the stormy seas and the midnight sky just to lighten it up ever so slightly. And I'm just gonna start adding some trees. Adding some trees in here, similar to the other side, but maybe slightly larger. And I just start with the trunk. I've been asked to show you how I do these foggy trees a few times. And better now, might as well do it now. So I do the stick for the tree, and that's a little sideways, but sometimes trees are sideways. There we go. And then I just kind of dab my brush sideways and sideways. My dresser is still a little bit wet. And if you want to give it a little more of a watercolor look, you can spray it even more with the water. And I just go sideways and back and forth. They're pretty straightforward little trees. I did another dresser where it was just these trees, so and a canvas too, so it got better at it. I'm gonna go up with a couple more trees. Okay, so then I'm gonna take the corner and the corner of it right here and just kind of go little, like almost random splotches back and forth, just with the tip of the corner over there. Up on one side and then up on the next. And make it a little more full towards the bottom. And you can see the water that I've sprayed is kind of making them like a little bit fuzzy, but that doesn't bother me. I'm gonna go back in with just the Midnight Sky on a small brush, and I'll touch them all up when it's dry. And so we're gonna go in with this next tree. You don't have to do the tree trunks, but it definitely gives a good idea of where to put your tree, I think. It gives me like a good straight line to go off of. Otherwise I get some trees that are falling over, which could be a thing, you know. Okay, just getting a little more paint on my brush, and I try to keep it nice and thin on my brush too, so I just spray the paint that's on my little paint tray really quick, and it gives it that watery, just waters it down. And Dixie Belle, it's fine to water it down, it's water-based paint, so. Okay, I'm going back in for this reflection, and I want it to mimic that reflection that was over there. So I've got my piece a little bit damp. Just don't want any, I just painted this, so it's still a little wet, so I don't want it to cause any problems with what I have going on down here. So I'm starting in with Midnight Sky, and we'll just come across here, and like I said before, I'm gonna leave a little bit of white in there, just kind of to show where the land starts and the reflection starts. Doesn't have to be anything perfect. And I like the reflection on the other side, so we'll see if I can mimic that. And if not, I'll just white it out, start it again. for today. For the most part, I think we've got it in. I'm gonna be going back and filling in the land and the trees, and then I'm gonna try a mountain. I probably won't do that live because I haven't done very many mountains. So I just wanna say thank you guys. I'm gonna turn this around here really quick. Thanks, Amber. I just wanna say thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody and gentlemen, for watching and being here with me today. And I hope you enjoyed it and get something out of it. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. So have a great week. Bye, guys.